Hello and welcome to episode 63 of the podcast devoted to the classic and sometimes not so classic genre cinema of yesteryear. This is The Bride of Monster Kid Radio, and I am the writer, host, and producer of this show. My name is Derek M. Cook, and I'm welcoming you to the podcast for an exciting kaiju-sized episode. Not because the episode itself is like any bigger than any other episode of Bride of Monster Kid Radio in terms of length, but we're talking about a kaiju movie, two kaijus for the price of one. We have got, oh man, one of my absolute favorite kaiju Godzilla films. We are going to be talking about Mothra versus Godzilla. Well, okay, when I say we, I don't mean me, because I wasn't there. However, Monster Kid Radio Irregulars Jeff and Dominique were at the Academy Theater in Portland, Oregon for a screening of Mothra vs. Godzilla. They covered it for us, and I loved it. They also got some people in the audience to participate in their recording. You're going to hear that in this episode of the podcast coming up here in a little bit. Mothra vs. Godzilla is so much fun. I'll comment on it a little bit more later in the episode. It's one that I really want to share with Beth. I know that she really likes Mothra. Mothra's her girl. Mothra's her kaiju. I'd love to see what she thinks of Mothra versus Godzilla, or if we go with the American title, Mothra versus The Thing. But yeah, we're going to get to that here in a second. Of course, it would not be an episode of Bride of Monster Kid Radio without the dulcet ultratones of Mark Matzke and his Beta Capsule review, where he is going episode through episode through episode of every single Ultraman. Man, Mark, I don't know how you do it. You have been doing this nonstop for years for us now. Really, the only time that you haven't appeared on the show, with rare exception, is when I don't put it together on time for you. And I just really appreciate everything that you do. And you know what? You're going to hear somebody get really excited about Ultraman coverage on Bride of Monster Kid Radio later in this episode too. I think it was adorable. Anyway, so that's coming up here too. I'll talk a little bit more about some things going on at the end of the episode, so I want you to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's get ready for Mark. Let's get ready for Godzilla, Mothra, Jeff, Dominique, and you didn't think I was gonna forget mentioning the song, did you? This is Nerved Up. It's from the band The Taro Surfers. It's from their release, Mountain Waves. You can find out more about them at tarosurfers.bandcamp.com. They're also on Facebook, or just go straight to their website, thetarosurfers.com. Or this June, you can catch them live because they're participating in the 24th annual Ed Big Daddy Roth's Rat Fink reunion. That's happening June 4th through the 6th. In Manti? Is that Manti? Manti? It's happening in Utah. And you can learn more about that over at ratfink.com. We don't talk about Rat Fink very much here on the show. We probably should, because this kind of lowbrow art, man, I love it. And I say lowbrow, I don't mean that insultingly. I just, it's kind of what some of it's called. Anyway, Big Daddy Roth, the work that he did, the car designs, the artwork, it's all just super cool. And I'm super jealous that the Taro Surfers are going to be there. I don't think I'm going to make the show, but if you're going to make the show, make sure you let them know that you heard about them here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. All right, let's go ahead and get on with the rest of the show right now.
It's his night to howl. Dracula's dog. The meanest vampire of them all has a four-legged friend, and he's out for blood. Crown International Pictures presents Dracula's Dog. Whoops, there he goes again. There's more to the legend than meets the throat in Dracula's Dog.
Atragon, the ninth wonder of the world. Atragon, an earth mover. A flying fortress. A submarine. Atragon, technology's newest, fights all the powers of black magic. The mysterious submerged continent of Mu attacks our world.
number 23 of the Mu Empire. This earthquake is not accidental.
Terror panics civilization. As cataclysmic forces clash, Atragon in color.
Live from the Land of Light in Nebula M78, home of the mighty Ultra Heroes, it's Monster Kid Radio's Beta Capsule Review. Ultraman Taro, Episode 22, Wrath of the Monster with Cub. Original air date, August 31st, 1973. Kotaro makes it to a wedding chapel in Karuizawa just in time to congratulate his friend Fujinami and his new bride, Yuko. The newlyweds go for a mountain hike, but when a monster appears, Yuko trips and falls from a cliff. Fujinami calls Kotaro, and the two investigate the site, since Yuko's body cannot be found, even after a police search. Kotaro agrees to help look for Yuko, and he succeeds in finding her alive, and under the protection of kangaroo monster Pandra. Pandra, a mother to baby Chinpei, recovered Yuko and nursed her wounds so that she could walk again. Unfortunately, Fujinami has assembled a hunting party and is burning to exact revenge on the monster he thinks is responsible for his wife's untimely death. They locate Pandra and Chinpei and open fire, gravely injuring the creature. But things go from bad to worse when Fujinami rejects Kotaro's assertion that Pandra is good and ties the ZAT member to a tree, intent on slaying the friendly monster. When Chinpei becomes a victim of Fujinami's vengeance, Pandra unleashes her wrath. The 22nd episode of Ultraman Taro packs an emotional punch as the series continues to develop maternal themes, which, in this case, involves the senseless loss of a child. The designs for Pandra and Chinpei are intentionally cute and soft, which only intensifies the cruelty visited upon them. Wrath of the Monster with Cub offers a strong indictment of killing creatures for sport, and in a wider sense, a shoot-first-and-ask-questions-later mentality to problem-solving. Kotaro and Taro exemplify a different way to be, emphasizing learning, listening, understanding, and healing. It's a refreshing and insightful revelation of the moral compass of the Ultras, and helps explain their appeal down through the decades, as their values have remained essentially intact. For Pride of Monster Kid Radio's Beta Capsule Review, this is Mark Matzke reporting.
Most terrifying news of all. At nightfall, monstrous animals crawl out of crater of volcano. Great herds of cattle stampede before this living inferno. Vast area devastated by appalling new horror. A creature named the Black Scorpion by panic-stricken people of San Lorenzo. Entire population prays for deliverance.
For miles around, cowboys came upon one dead steer after another. One of them had heard the tale of the demon bull of the Maricopa. Having lost family or friends to something absolutely unknown, he could be in another world.
Nation's leaders confer as news received a possible threat to capital.
This is a city of 4 million people. If word of this leaks out, the panic of the population could be worse than the scorpions.
The Black Scorpion destroys communications. Hundreds annihilated. On a scale never achieved before by any science fiction picture. Thousands in the cast.
Warning! Godzilla versus the Thing. A shattering motion picture not for the weak of heart. Here in all its astounding realism is a soul-shocking experience. How much terror can you stand? What was this thing of unbelievable and unequaled terror that challenged Godzilla to a battle of unhuman strength versus supernatural evil? Godzilla versus the Thing. See the war of the giants. See the birth of the world's most terrifying monster. See armies of the world destroyed by the Thing. The producers of Godzilla vs. the Thing issue warning to those who cannot take its full horror. To you with guts, you must see Godzilla vs. the Thing from the beginning in color scope from American International.
This is Count Dracula, and I'm here to offer you a friendly warning. Derek and his guests often get excited, and occasionally this results in revealing key plot points of the movies they're discussing. You know how the children of the night, monster kids can get sometimes. So consider yourself warned. And don't come begging to me to kill them for their transgressions afterward. I have more pressing issues to take care of, like that pesky Van Helsing.
Hello, Monster Kids. This is Jeff Polier calling from the Academy Theater in Portland, Oregon. And I am here with the Duchess of Dreadful Diversions,
Dominique Lampsey's at the House of Silent Grapes.
And we are here with a couple of other patrons. We just saw Godzilla versus Mothra. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Mothra versus Godzilla. Thank you.
What is your name? Would you like to say your name?
Augie.
Hi, Augie.
This is Augie. Augie is 6 years old, and I'm his mama, and my name is Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin. I talked with you two a little bit before the movie started. Obviously, if you were a listener to Braddock Monster Kid Radio, you know that I talk with Dominique more often than that.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah. So we were here at the Academy. They were showing Mothra versus Godzilla, which was amazing.
So good.
And I met Caitlin and Augie before the show. I was showing off. Dominique and I both brought our stuffed with character Godzillas, and Dominique brought her Mothra. There was a problem with the projector, so before the show, I went up and acted the movie out by having them battle.
Which they are currently doing right now, actually. Getting a replay as we're in this.
It sounds like of the four of us, I'm the only one for whom this was a first time seeing
I
it.
think so.
I think so. Yeah.
That's amazing. The 6-year-old saw it before I did.
Yeah. He thought we saw when he was 4.
Yeah. He started a little earlier than we did, I think.
Yeah. So, what'd you think, Augie?
What do you think of Mothra versus Godzilla? Can you...
Well, that was 2 thumbs up. It doesn't really work well in an audio medium.
You use your word?
It was really cool.
Yeah?
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I liked when the lava were webbing up Godzilla.
So
That was amazing.
Was cool.
Do you know how they did that?
They used the web,
where does it come from?
their mouth.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the larva? You love the larva, the Mothra larva.
So, the lava are awakened from the song that the cosmos sing.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's like they were singing before they hatched?
Yeah.
That's very cool. And the dancing. I like the dancing, too.
Yeah.
What else do you like about the movie?
I also liked that it was kind of cool how the egg was glowing before they hatched.
Oh, yeah. You can, see the potential energy about to come out.
The aura of the egg, of the twins, perhaps?
Yeah.
And what a surprise! Surprise, it's twins!
I know.
One of the special effects battle things I really liked in this one was
Godzilla's atomic breath, not just setting things on fire, but melting things. I thought that was really neat.
That was very cool.
Melting metal, melting rock. Oh my goodness.
Wow, I didn't notice the melting rock part. Augie, did you see that?
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit in the battle with the larvae.
Yeah. That makes sense. I'll have to look at it again. That's so cool.
How about you, Dominique? Any battle stuff that really stood out to you as amazing?
I thought it was the funniest that Godzilla was so frustrated because he was fighting the twins and he was just like a teacher whose students were being bad.
It was toddlers.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Having tantrum. It was just crazy.
That's a good way to put it. They might be more dangerous for that reason, right?
I think he was less a teacher who would, in theory, have some training on how to deal with the kids. He was more like the angry janitor.
Actually, that's probably better, yeah.
Having to deal with these kids.
Funny. Or honestly, interpretation.
He was the bully.
That's also very true.
That's also
yeah.
Doing some reading before coming here today is that I found out this is really the last movie where Godzilla is the antagonist. After this, he really starts becoming more on the side of humanity. And I wouldn't say he's villainous in this. He's a force of nature.
He was woken up. Somebody woke him up.
He's grumpy. These things are on his way. Sometimes these things are trying to hurt him. So it's not that he was evil, but very destructive, and trying to stop him is like trying to stop a typhoon. What was the line from the trailer?
You can't predict a tornado or a cyclone. Yeah, you can't predict Godzilla.
Yeah, because you can predict a typhoon, but you can't predict Mothra or Godzilla. Yeah, that was a great line.
Love that.
What do you think about the people in the movie?
It's pretty cool. So I thought it was cool how the team were they're I like that one of them was scraping off some of the egg to figure out what the egg.
Oh, the professor?
Taking a sample.
Yeah.
You really like science a lot, don't you?
Oh, that's excellent.
Lots of experiments. We would love to do a Godzilla experiment, huh?
Well, we did do an experiment with dry ice yesterday.
It's true. We played with dry ice yesterday. Anything else you want to say about Mothra versus Godzilla?
No.
Okay, well, thank you two for your time.
That was very
I sure appreciate you sitting down with us for a few minutes. Dominique and I are going to keep talking.
Sounds good.
But yeah, if they do another one for you soon.
That's the one I make. I do make a smaller one, but that's the one I look better.
This is a body pillow Mothra.
Yeah.
I would love to sleep with this every night. Are you kidding me? That is okay. Okay. House of Silent Graves. Is that you?
Yes.
I wrote it on this.
So right now I'm only on Facebook, but I'm working on getting a site.
PowerPoint is the podcast by the Monster Kid Radio. Every episode there is a segment about Ultraman.
Oh my god, the season.
That is a regular segment every episode. This is a safe for kids podcast. It's not kids, but on the rare occasion someone uses this where Derek puts a monster noise over.
Yeah.
Derek is the host and producer.
We love that. We had no idea.
The second one, Stuff with Character. They're also just Facebook as far as contacting them. And they're the ones that made our Godzillas and Mothra.
We're going to check it.
And then the last one is House of Silent Graves.
I just saw that, House of Silent Graves. I love it. Yeah, it's very cool. His birthday's in October. And we've already got a birthday list going on.
Okay.
No, so lots of kaiju toys already, but we don't have very many kaiju stuffies.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kaiju toy right now?
I like the Destroyer one.
Destroyer. Yeah, Destroyer is pretty wild. With the maroon one or the other one? The dark red one? Do we have two or one?
We have two.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the big one.
The big one, yeah.
I also like this Space Godzilla toy.
Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah.
That one's very looks so cool. Yeah. All the Mega anything. Ghidorah, Mega Godzilla, Mega Gigan, they're all so cool too. Okay, do you want to say bye-bye and say thank you? Thank you. We'll see you. It was really nice talking to you, all of you. Have a great day. Sure, we'll see you at more film.
We're going to get back to the Academy Theater here shortly, but I wanted to interject here and just say, Augie, you the man. Thank you so much for being part of the show, and I'm just excited that there's somebody else out there that loves Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla gets a bad rap. I don't know why, because Space Godzilla is super, super cool. He's one of my favorite kaiju designs. I know it's basically just Godzilla with some crystals sticking out of him, but you know what? I love the film. I love the Space Godzilla movie. I love the music. I love the aesthetic. I love the vibe. And just, it's one of the coolest monsters. And I'll die on that hill. I'll fight you if you disagree with me. Okay, probably not. I'm not a violent guy. But Space Godzilla, so cool, man. Augie, thank you for representing one of my favorite kaiju. All right, let's get back to Jeff and Dominique at the Academy. I have to tell y'all, I'm super jealous. I am so jealous. I know that I've lamented this before here on the show, that I have yet to find any theaters up here showing movies like this on the regular. Up here, I suppose I mean down here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. I just don't have access to theaters that are showing retro films. I don't have a Joy Cinema, a Hollywood theater, an Academy theater. I don't have that down here. So I'm really jealous and super, super thankful that Jeff and Dominique thought to bring us along virtually. Is it virtually? To bring us along to the show. The Academy Theater is a theater that I have a lot of special memories about because it is the place where I last saw and interacted with Julie Adams. We lost Julie Adams several years ago. And in older episodes of Monster Kid Radio, I joked that she was my 1950s girlfriend. And the truth is, I adored her. I loved her work. I was a huge fan. I, of course, had a crush on her and the films that she was in. But beyond that, she was an incredible actress and was so giving of her time and compassionate with her fans. And being able to interact with her one last time at the Academy, of course, I didn't know it was going to be the last time that I had a chance to see her, but it just was a special, special moment when I think back on that. And the last time I was at the Academy Theater, since then, there was a Creature from the Black Lagoon poster up in the lobby that she had signed when she was there then. So I remember pausing the last time I was there and just kind of paying my respects to this incredible actress who means so much, not just to me, but to so many monster kids. And not just because she was in Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, being in Creature from the Black Lagoon is enough to make you Monster Kid royalty, if you ask me. But she did so much more, not just the monster movies, but all the Westerns that she did, all the television that she did. She just was incredible. And I did not mean for this to turn into a tribute to Julie Adams. I just wanted to comment on the Academy Theater for having this special place in my Monster Kid heart. And I'm so glad that Jeff and Dominique and so many other people have had such a positive experience at this theater, whether they're watching Creature from the Black Lagoon, Mothra vs. Godzilla, or who knows what. It doesn't matter. It's a great theater. And if you're in the area, please stop by and check the place out. See what they're playing, because they're always playing something pretty cool, like Mothra vs. Godzilla. So we're going to get back to Jeff and Dominique talking about that. Now that it's just Jeff and Dominique talking, they do talk about some more, I don't want to say grown-up stuff, but the conversation isn't as light. So be warned, there is some conversation about some uncomfortable topics, but I think it's very valid and a very important thing to talk about when Dominique brings up a certain, thing. And you'll know when you get to that part of the conversation. It's one of the things that I love about these monster movies is that you can see so much about a culture's history and what was going on at the time, and to have certain things kind of reflected back at you in a safe way. And I realize I'm talking about something being safe when you're watching a monster movie, but it's just a way to kind of look at some real world topics through the lens of fantasy. And I love that about almost all the Godzilla movies do this. Pretty much, if I tell you one of these monster movies is my favorite, it's not just because it's got a cool monster or a great actress. It's because it's got a message and it's telling you some things and you can learn while being thrilled by a couple of dudes in some giant rubber monster suits. Jeff and Dominique, back to you.
So now that it's just the two of us.
Okay, so yeah, first time impressions. Go for it. I didn't know this was your first time.
Yeah, it was great. Well, and I don't know if I told you, I told them before the movie. Last night I watched the original Mothra at home.
Okay.
Which was my first time seeing that.
Oh, really?
Most of my Mothra experience is the character Insectosaurus in Monsters vs. Aliens. Which, now that I've seen 2 Mothra movies, is pretty faithful to Mothra.
Okay.
Insectosaurus, not just based on Mothra, I mean, they may have used a different name, but it's straight up Mothra. It was really cool.
Interesting.
Okay. But I enjoyed Mothra last night. I enjoyed this even more. Now, seeing things on the big screen, I think makes everything better. But this was, to use the IMDb scale, which is out of 10 instead of out of 5, I would give this a 9. This is a solid movie. The only reason it lost some from me is some of the special effects, which, let me preface this by saying, the special effects for 1963, they are outstanding for 1963.
Yeah.
But in 2026, some of them don't hold up that well.
Yeah.
But only some of them. I mean, some of the special effects are just straight up great, period. Yeah. It's not great for the time. They still hold up, period. And that is incredible. 2 parts that really didn't work for me. When we first see the Mothra egg on the beach, it's a composite shot. It just wasn't well done. Of all the composite shots, that one.
Well, I had a problem with most of the composite shots. So this one, yes.
I'm generous with composite shots. That one was particularly bad. And when we have the actual adult Mothra fighting Godzilla, it kind of looks like our stuffed toys here from Stuck with Character just being smashed together.
Well, I don't chalk that up to special effects. I chalk that up to writing. They didn't know how to write that fight.
Well, some of the fight was really great. I love it when Mothra grabs Godzilla by the tail and just drags him backwards.
Yes.
That was spectacular.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yes.
Mothra looked great. I think in every shot except for the close-up fighting. They did build a new Mothra model, bigger one. They still used the smaller one from the first Mothra movie for some shots. We had a new Godzilla suit for this for most shots. For times when it was likely the suit would get damaged, they used a littler suit.
Like when they freaking set it on fire, I was actually a little worried about that.
No, I think that was still the new Mothra suit. And what's really funny about that is the actor inside it, his head is so far down below where the head of Godzilla is, he didn't know the head of the monster was on fire.
That actually, like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I'm like, oh my God, my head's on fire. I'm like, that poor guy.
No, he didn't even know until afterwards.
Okay.
But the shot was so good, they used it.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them.
Yeah, right.
One time I did read where they actually redid something was when Godzilla stumbles and smashes the castle. The first castle they built as a model wasn't weak enough.
Okay.
And didn't get destroyed enough. And Director Honda was going to just film a reaction shot of Godzilla looking frustrated he hadn't done more damage. And one of the suits behind the movie just said, no, just build the castle again, make it easier to fall apart, get the shot.
Right.
This is one time when the suits came in and said, no, spend more money on this. Because something, from what I've been reading, something Ishirō Honda had a problem with every time was being told, no, you don't have enough money for that.
Okay.
But in this case, no. Build the castle, make it cheaper, make sure it falls down, and fall down it did.
Which, to me, that was really hilarious because that was Osaka Castle. Again. 2 years before, they flattened it when they did Godzilla vs. Kong. And I'm pretty sure they flattened it in the original Godzilla. How many, it's not the original castle anymore, but how many times are you going to rebuild this thing?
It's like the White House. If it's a monster movie, you destroy it.
I guess. And then 2 years later, it gets destroyed again by the same monster. Okay.
Speaking of Godzilla vs. Kong, we saw they played 3 trailers before the movie for 3 other Toho movies. Godzilla vs. Kong, which looked incredible on the big screen. The original Mothra, which looked incredible on the big screen. And then
Invasion of the Astro Monsters.
Invasion of the Astro Monsters.
Have you seen that one?
No.
Oh my god.
Legend! It looks legendary. It also looks ridiculous.
That's why it's legend.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one of the really famous ones because it's crazy in the best way. I love that.
We're a little off topic here, but in that trailer, Godzilla literally does a happy dance.
Yep.
And I'm just...
Which, again, I didn't know you hadn't seen that.
No, I started cracking up. It was so ridiculous.
That's a legend thing. Like, Godzilla fans, we know that.
The success of Godzilla vs. Kong and the success of Mothra is what led the studio to say, hey, 2 great tastes that taste great together. Let's do Mothra versus Godzilla. Or, as it was first released in the United States, Godzilla versus the Thing. It's funny, I didn't see Ben Grimm anywhere. Okay, she got it. Although I would love to see that. It's clobbering time.
Squish. You ever seen Godzilla versus Bambi? I'm pretty much imagining that be the same way. No shade to the Fantastic Four people, but let's be real here.
Anyway, they wrote a novella first and then based the screenplay on the novella, which seems kind of weird, but it works. Solid screenplay, I think. I really liked the human characters. Well, I like the human characters that you're supposed to like.
Yeah.
If I had done one thing different back in 1962 or 3 when it was being written and filmed, I would have had the reporter and photographer from the first Mothra movie return. Now, I like the characters that we have in here, the reporter and the photographer. And Monster Kids, I apologize for not knowing any character's name. If I had it in front of me, I would refer to it, but I don't. But anyway, I would have had the continuity of having those same, because if we're going to have a photographer and reporter in both movies, carry them forward.
Here's the thing, though. That was the continuity. Because the reporter guy was Akira Takarada. He was the guy in the Godzilla movies. He was the one who was always in the Godzilla movies.
Really?
If you remember Godzilla, the original one, the boyfriend.
Okay.
That's him.
Really?
So he was the Godzilla actor. And this professor, Jun Tazaki, that's the Mothra guy. That was the continuity.
Okay.
It was the actors. It wasn't the...
Oh, okay. Different characters.
Yes.
Same actors. Okay.
Yes.
I would have liked to have had the same characters for that continuity.
But you got to bring in both of them, and Godzilla didn't have those.
Yeah.
And you really need, for this plotline, you really needed reporters.
Now,
you had to have reporters.
Now, this is no shade against the actors that played the reporter and photographer in this movie or how they were written. It was great. And the characters would have had to be rewritten to use the other ones because part of the thing about this movie was that the photographer was a rookie. Clearly, she wouldn't be a rookie if you were using the reporter or the photographer from Mothra. So it's really no shade against it. It's just something I would have done different. But I'm glad they did it the way they did it because it worked great.
Well, I love Akira Takarada, the reporter. I love him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, in everything, always. So,
for a while, the villainous human in this, again, it's an anti-capitalist kind of thing. For a while, I didn't hate him as much as I did the villainous capitalist in Mothra. Because all he was doing was he was actually protecting the egg in his own way. He's trying to make money off of it. But then when he wants to buy and enslave the Shobijin, that's the same problem with the guy in the first movie. He wants to enslave a couple sentient creatures. And I'm not okay with that. Funny.
Yeah. But that's one of the nice things about one of the things I think they did really right with this movie, because again, that with like they did the melding with the actors, they melded the themes because of course you've got the anti-nuclear stuff with Godzilla, and because when they made Mothra, Ishirō Honda said he wanted it to be about nuclear stuff, and they were like, no, we're not doing that this time, and he kind of fought him a little bit, but eventually he gave in, and I think that's kind of a good thing because Mothra's themes of imperialism and human trafficking actually still translate into this one, and they managed to take those two sets of themes and bring them together in a way that's not like super heavy-handed, and it shows like in a social commentary way how those things feed off of each other.
I agree.
Without getting heavy-handed, without overdoing it.
Mostly without getting heavy-handed. I mean, they really nailed the point home at the closing dialogue about we can thank them by making the world a better place. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's one of the points of the movie that made me sad because that was 1963, it's 2026, and the world is still a pretty bad place. Another part that made me sad is when our heroic trio of humans go to Infant Island and see the devastation that has been wrought by the nuclear testing. And that more than a little bit broke my heart. And also, even though we know it's coming, I mean, the Shobijin straight up tell us that Mothra is near the end of her life. When Mothra dies and her eye, the eye that we are shown actually goes dark. It was a sad moment. Now, I knew going in that the original Mothra is going to die. There's going to be a couple babies. So I know that there's still hope coming. And it makes sense. So, Mothra is huge. She lived longer than a normal moth would live. But it makes sense that she would have a short lifespan compared to not just humans, but any kaiju. So I applaud that. I kind of like the, they don't call it Phoenix by name, but the Phoenix idea that, yes, Mothra dies, but there is always a rebirth.
Okay. The idea of the Phoenix is a little Western because it's...
Yes.
The destruction necessitates the creation. Mothra is a little more Eastern.
Well,
and
very.
benign in that Mothra is the spiritual maternal. She is the cycle of life and death. There is no violence in the cycle itself.
Not normally.
Okay, let me finish, please. There is violence in what you do with the cycle. The cycle just continues. So Mothra she's always going to be reborn. She's always going to be reborn. And it's funny that in this one, like one of those twins was male. It's the only male Mothra ever. And they got rid of Val. Every Mothra from here on out is female.
I didn't catch that a gender for either of them.
I read it afterwards about it.
Oh, okay.
Because they intended it to be a male Mothra.
Okay.
And then there was one female and one male. And then they were like, nobody wants a male Mothra. Because Mothra, she's the divine maternal.
Okay.
So she comes back. She always comes back. And she has to die. but she always comes back. So there's sadness in that this is what is passing right now, but we got new ones.
She's the Optimus Prime of kaiju movies.
I'm not a Transformers guy, but I'll give you that. I'll give it that one.
It's kind of an in-joke at this point that Optimus Prime dies and comes back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one thing that really struck me watching this, they go to the island, and one of the things that I've heard people talk about a lot lately is white people going to black people and being like, why aren't you standing up more? Why aren't you doing this? And black people are like, we've been doing this for 300 years and it's just affecting you now. And now you care. And I'm like, this is what I'm seeing when they're on Infinite Island being like, please help me. I'm like, the Japanese people are the white people. And the Infinite Island people are like, shut up. Deal with what you did.
You have ruined our lives. Why should we be helping you?
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't lost on me.
That's where like, yeah, that's what got me. I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
At least in this movie, the Islander people were literally in blackface.
Yeah.
Like they were in Mothra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they were...
Japanese people are racist sometimes. We all are. But...
They were kind of in red face. I felt that the Islanders in this one especially were very coded South American tribal.
Or just Native American tribal. The dancers in blue. That was the very Native American.
The stone carvings really said more Aztec or Mayan to me. But yes. Yeah. Now, granted, the one group of warrior natives were literally in red face.
Yeah.
We're talking bright red.
But that's also one of those things like, oh, yeah, you're kind of racist and you're kind of bad at being racist.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, all those brown people, they're all the same. Just do whatever.
And yeah, the Islanders straight up tell our heroes, no, we're not going to help you.
Get bent.
Yeah. And then our hero trio hears the Shobijin singing and goes out and talks to them. And the Shobijin are like, it's terrible that's happening to you, but it's happening to you. We're not going to help you. Mm-hmm. And then Mothra speaks up, and Mothra, the benevolent goddess, says, yeah, I'm going to go help.
Yeah.
Did the humans deserve to be helped? The innocents did, but as a society overall,
we'll call that the big question mark at the end.
Yeah.
We're going to call that the question mark.
Yeah. This was a turning point, kind of trying to make it more appealing. I mean, from what I've read, this was an actual plan to make the franchise more appealing to women and children. Mm-hmm. But it is still, there are heavy themes in this movie.
Oh, yeah. They would not have gotten Ishirō Honda back if there hadn't been. He took this very seriously. He wanted it to mean something.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that was kind of a little more kid-friendly and goofy, it's still... I mean, you get to the one that has Manila in it, and it's silly, but there's still some heavy stuff in it.
Environmental things in this, too. Mm-hmm. The movie starts off with a typhoon, and talking about the special effects earlier, those were it wasn't like that was footage of an actual typhoon, but I've seen footages of typhoons, and they did a really good job.
Well, they know what they're doing there.
Yeah. Well, yes. But knowing what it's supposed to look like and being able to do a credible job with models in 1963 are not exactly the same thing. Yeah. The typhoon footage looked like typhoon footage. Mm-hmm. It was really great. Mm-hmm. And the showing the devastation afterwards, which was all practical and life-size, great job.
Yeah.
And again, more than a little heartbreaking. I mean, people who didn't lose their lives still lose everything else when a typhoon like that happens. Mm-hmm. And this is 1953 Japan. We still see what are basically people, coming out of shanties. They didn't have much to start with. And then a typhoon happens, and then Godzilla happens.
Natural disasters.
Yep. In Godzilla, kind of an unnatural disaster created by atomic fire in some continuities anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure glad I saw this. I'm glad I saw it with you because I'm always glad to see you. Thankfully, it hasn't been 3-4 years since the last time I saw you this time. Oh, I did want to talk about the editor-in-chief. I kind of leaned over and made a couple jokes to Dominique as the movie was going on. The reporter that's always eating eggs calls the editor-chief, and I lean over and says, "And don't call me chief." Very, very white. But he also came across a lot as Peter Parker's editor, G. Jonah Jameson. And as the larvae are wrapping Godzilla up in webs, I could just hear Jameson going, "See all that webbing? It's proof. It was that menace Spider-Man. How come nobody got me photos? Parker!" Yeah, the comedy relief of the guy who's always eating eggs
Yeah.
was great. There was some great time dialogue moments, like someone mentions a monster egg just as he's about to take a bite of a hard-boiled egg, and he looks at his egg. Oh,
Yeah.
it was funny. It was a funny character bit that this guy, almost every time we see him, is eating an egg.
Yeah.
Whether it's hard-boiled, soft-boiled, fried.
I love that. It takes 3 minutes to soft boil an egg. So if you multiply that by 1,800, because that's how big the mother egg
Something
is.
else that was great. The first guy so it's a group of fishermen that see Mothra's egg floating out in the ocean. They go out in the fishing boats and somehow tow it and get it up on the beach. The good thing they didn't try and show that because it would not have been believable. And then this businessman comes along and comes up with what seems to be a really weird number to pay them for the egg. And then he tells us the math, and this egg is so many times the size of a chicken egg. So this is the price of a chicken egg. Multiply that times the size, and then multiply that times 8. And that's how they got to the number.
That's the number. Which, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was such a bit of logic to get to such a weird number for a price.
Okay, speaking of which, Jeff, we have not discussed the most important question that this movie raised. We have not answered this question. We need answers. Do you remember this question?
Will the egg explode?
Who has Mothra's power of attorney?
Oh, yes.
Well, I want answers, Mothra. Who has the power of attorney? That was a line in the movie for those of you who haven't seen it. Someone legit asked about Mothra's power of attorney. It was great. It was a joke, but it was still great.
And are the larvae considered mature enough to inherit now that Mothra has died?
Does Mothra have a trust somewhere that's for the twins when they reach 1,800?
No, I suspect the Shobijin are considered the guardians.
Yeah, the executors.
Until the larvae are old enough, are of age, whatever of age is for a giant moth goddess.
Mothra majority?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Anything else that you can think of?
Nothing I can think of.
I'm sure we'll think of something else
Probably.
after we're done here. But in the meantime, reporting in for Bride of Monster Kid Radio, this is Jeff of Podcastcadia.
And Dominique from the House of Silent Graves.
And we hope you all have a terrific day trying and make the world a better place.
Amen.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of this episode of Bride of Monster Kid Radio. Big thanks to everybody who contributed to making this episode possible, whether it's Dominique from the House of Silent Graves, whether it's Jeff from Podcastcadia, whether it's Augie and his mother, whether it's the Academy Theater, whether it's Mark Matzke, or whether it's you for downloading and listening to the show. If you watch it on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, give us a like, whatever it is you need to do on YouTube. If you caught this on any social media platform, we would love for you to help spread the word, share your posts, and share your thoughts with everybody about what you thought about us here covering the movie here on the show. And we'd love to hear your thoughts here on the show as well. So please email me at monsterkidradio@gmail.com or call and leave us a voicemail at 360-524-2484. If you have thoughts about this movie or anything that we've talked about on Bride of Monster Kid Radio or just Monster Kid Radio, we'd love to hear from you. We want to make you part of the conversation, even when I kind of screw up a little bit. I was editing last week's episode, and it occurred to me that I made a point about how the talk of Salem's Lot was the first time we've talked about Stephen King stuff on the show. That's not true at all. I had forgotten completely that I had talked about The Shining here on the show in the past, which is a Stephen King adaptation, arguably probably one of the more notorious Stephen King adaptations. I mean, we've talked about that Stanley Kubrick film here on the show, and I just whoop out of my brain. I'm going to blame the vampires from Salem's Lot on that. Barlow and company probably did something to me. That had to have been what happened, right? Right? Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. But I'd like to talk about more Stephen King. So if you want to hear more Stephen King here on the show, let me know, because I want to cater this show to what you want to hear when it comes to Monster Kid movie stuff. I've got some things in the hopper. I've got some conversations with some people lined up. I've got some recordings I'm trying to schedule with some Monster Kid Radio Irregulars and some new voices. And I'm excited to see where the podcast can continue to grow in 2026. We are working on getting the Inner Sanctum up and running. Beth and I are going to be having some more meetings about that and how to implement that whole thing. So if you want to be part of our Cyber Street team, well, stay tuned for that. I can tell you right now, because they contribute to the show the way they do, Jeff, Dominique, and Mark Matzke, and Kenny are all welcome to be part of the Inner Sanctum private Discord channel when I get that up and running. So stay tuned, those of you that I've mentioned, and stay tuned for how you can get involved with the Cyber Street team and join Bride of Monster Kid Radio's Inner Sanctum. You can find out everything you need to know about the podcast over at monsterkidradio.net. We've got links to everything over there, including our contact information, which I mentioned. And I'll mention again, 360-524-2484 or monsterkidradio@gmail.com. You're going to find links to what Mark's up to, what Jeff's up to, what Dominique's up to. And you're going to find links to our Amazon affiliate store. If you're going to shop on Amazon, please consider using the affiliate button, because this is going to help us support what we do here, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. We're just an affiliate. We just take a penny or two off the top of what Papa Bezos has taken and putting in his own rocket ship pocket. So we would love for you to, when you shop on Amazon, think of us first, okay? Also, deathdesigns.bigcartel.com. This is where all of our shirt designs, our button-down shirt designs are. Please check that out. And oh darn, I still haven't raised the price since Christmas time. Oh, they are still only $30 a piece, free shipping in the US. Whatever shall I do? Who might benefit from my short-sightedness and laziness in not increasing the price back to their regular $40 price tag? I sure hope nobody takes it. Okay, actually, I do want you to take advantage. If you are interested in picking up one of these button-down shirts, including the women's design or the dress, deathdesigns.bigcartel.com. Death is spelled D-E-T-H. That's D-E from Derek, T-H from Beth. Bride of Monster Kid Radio is a Team Death production. All original content of Bride of Monster Kid Radio is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 Unported license. You can learn more about Team Death, our other projects like Death Designs, Mail Order Zombie, the Team Death YouTube channel, and more at www.teamdeath.com. Remember, death is spelled D-E-T-H. All previous episodes of this podcast, as well as the original Monster Kid Radio podcast, are available at www.monsterkidradio.net. Please rate and review Bride of Monster Kid Radio wherever you download your favorite podcasts. Nerved Up is copyright 2025, The Terra Surfers. You can find it over at terrasurfers.bandcamp.com. It's on their album Mountain Waves. You can check them out also on their website at theterrasurfers.com, or just look for them on Facebook and let them know that you heard about them here on Bride of Monster Kid Radio. My name's Sarah Kim Cook. I'll talk to everybody next week. Ciao.